dormant, waiting to rise again.
No. This is what I am.
Maybe not. Perhaps you fear him you carry inside. That he'll hurt you with his weakness.
Enough.
Very well. Let's have a peek what you've hidden within. Come out.
The story of Mad Max is an odd one. It takes place in the same Mad Max world, and one of the benefits that this game has compared to other games that are based off of movies is that this game has zero to do with the Mad Max movie that came out. And that's one of the huge bonuses with this. It has its own story, its own dialogue, and it decides to go in its own particular direction. But one of the things that I failed to understand about this game is where the story was actually going to. The story ends up starting off where Mad Max has got his car taken away from him. He gets beat up by all these guys, and now he's left in the desert, left for dead, while his ride is gone, and he comes across this guy named Chum Bucket who ends up saving his life. And then they work together to build the Magnum Opus, which is supposed to be the ultimate Mad Max vehicle. Now, when the game progresses, you're going to be tasked with scavenging, you're going to be tasked with getting gas, and then you're also going to be tasked with assembling and gathering car parts for your Magnum Opus. You're going to be doing this by taking over strongholds and making alliances with gangs within the world by doing random tasks for them. By you doing random tasks for them, they're going to give you sanctuary in their bases where you can upgrade your vehicle, upgrade your weapons, and things of that nature. And on the side, while you're out scavenging, gathering scrap, you can also help these strongholds by donating the scrap that you get. Like I was saying before, one of the main tasks that you're going to have is taking out enemy strongholds. There's different ways to get into the strongholds throughout the game. Sometimes you can take a sneak-in route like I'm doing here, but more than likely, the best course of action is just to blast through the front doors, because coming in stealth really doesn't have any tactical advantage whatsoever in my own opinion. You're also going to have these warlords that are going to be in the bases that are hyping guys up. Like in the Mad Max movie where they had the guy with the flaming guitar, you're basically going to have this. They call them war criers. They're super easy to take out, and realistically I think they're just put in there for show because even though they do enrage the players like they're doing here, the AI, you see how they turned red and they get a boost in perks, you can take them out rather quickly and very easily. One of the demonstrations here that you'll notice during the fighting sequence is that the fighting is very similar to, say, like an Assassin's Creed or an Arkham Knight. But one of the downsides is that the fighting controls are super clunky. One of the things that you're going to compare yourself when fighting this way is that you're going to compare it a lot to the Batman series, but unlike where the Batman series has a nice quick twitch type of feel when you end up hitting the counter button where he does it right away, in Mad Max it doesn't have that feel. It's very sluggish and it can feel very kooky at times. Don't get me wrong, the game has its advantages, but one of the things that I don't like about the fighting system is the clunky fighting controls when you're trying to counter, and at the same time, if you have a barrage of enemies around you, you have to use the right analog stick in order for the camera to position behind you so you can see what's going around you. Unlike other games that use the similar fighting technique, or the fighting mechanics I should say, the camera always follows the player in a particular way where you can see all of the enemies. Mad Max does not do that. I don't know if they basically did that to increase the difficulty of the game or not. Another thing about this game that I thought was a little bit of a downer is that you come across all of these mysterious characters, and then rather than letting you fill in the blanks in between as the story goes along, you get these bios on the characters and they basically tell you everything about them, leaving no secret to be found in later parts of the story. And I think that kind of drags down the story a little bit when, you know, you're progressing through the game to build the ultimate driving fighting machine. One of the things that I really did like about the game as far as the driving mechanics is that when you're driving along, it has that twisted metal feel to it of car war, car fighting, car survivalist type of deal. and you're gonna end up using one of your perks, which is the hook shot. You're gonna use it a lot, the harpoon. But one of the things I noticed later on during the game when you start maxing out your harpoon is that the targeting for the harpoon at times doesn't let you target certain parts of a vehicle where it used to let you do it on the fly. And I found that rather odd, because if you're boosting up a part of a vehicle, like, would it not make it better rather than retard the particular aiming or the radius of length as far as your distance in between vehicles to lock on and actually pull a shot off? That was one of the downers for me. Other than that, Mad Max is very entertaining. I don't think that this is going to be a game that you're going to do a lot of repetitive a replay through, honestly. There's so much to do in the game. I mean, it's a little bit overabundant on the things that you have to do. The story, to me personally, it makes no sense whatsoever. It starts taking... as soon as you feel that the story is starting to move forward in a particular direction and take shape, something just comes out of the blue that completely obliterates what you were just working towards. So mainly what you're going to be doing in Mad Max is scavenging and exploration, which Mad Max does very, very well. One of the things that you'll notice in the game is that you're going to have to hoard water for fuel, or I'm sorry, you're going to have to hoard water for health, you're going to have to hoard fuel for your vehicles, but as far as that scavenging aspect goes, as long as you keep your eye out for it, you'll come across it. I mean, I have yet to run out of gas and be on the side of the road on my vehicle, and I have yet to run out of water supplies. So the only part where I'd feel that you're going to come into that particular problem is on some of the underground areas of the game, because the map is massive. There is above and below grounds in the level, which gives it a little bit more depth. Honestly, overall, I thought the game was a 7 out of 10. You'll definitely enjoy it. I'm personally glad I did not pick this up on day one and drop the $40 for it. It's a bargain right now if you're looking to pick it up. You can pick it up on G2A for $12 with all of the DLC. And for those of you guys that picked it up on day one, honestly, guys, you should have waited a little bit longer. For those of you guys that want to give it a whirl and have a weekend of free time, I'd recommend picking it up as a rental. I don't necessarily think this is a keeper for those of you guys that want to do hard copies of games unless you end up finding it in the bargain bin. But that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this short, brief review. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/group/Skum Nation. And my name is Cujo, PTFO or GTFO, bitch. I'm out.